Okay, the last building block is the value proposition. As I already told you, we have to distinguish value proposition by product. Products are something tangible or intangible that characterize your business model. The value proposition is the value that you are able to create for customers, but not only. It's also the value that you are able to create for supplier or for society. Now, analyzing this building block, we adopt a more traditional perspective. So we connect value proposition especially to customer. But you know that the idea is that value proposition could be offered in some sense also to society in general or to supplier. Okay. For identify the value proposition, you have to identify what are called the key success factor. So, the variable, the element that you have to take into consideration when you compete in a market. Okay, these variables are crucial in the perspective of the customer. So, are the variable the customer. First of all, the customer, not only the customer, first of all, the customer should take into consideration when decide to buy your product or to buy the product of a competitor of yours. So, of course, price is sometimes most important variable, especially for commodities, but also reliability. So the capacity to deliver in time your product, the availability that is connected to production capacity in order to face peaks of demand, storage capacity, speed of delivery, accessibility, so the fact that you can deliver the product everywhere. Okay. The newness, so the fact that your product is rather new. The performances of the product in terms of function, in terms of consumption, so the idea that it consumes more or less, for example, gasoline for a car, in terms of ergonomics, so the shape, the fact that it's not user-friendly, the dimension, the weight, and the aesthetic and sensorial aspects, sound, taste, fragrance, and so on. The material qualities, so the raw material, gold is not the silver, for example, or nanotechnologies are different from traditional material. The immaterial qualities, so image, style, prestige, brand, elegance, sustainability also. Okay, now sustainability is becoming more and more important as immaterial quality of a product. Wideness and variety of the choice, so the possibility to customize. So the difference between the variety of the choice, the range, the customization is that in customization you produce a specific product for a specific customer. Here you have quite a large portfolio of product and generally a customer but standard product, but with many different typology of product, and so a customer is able to find the product that is function, that is useful for him, okay, but is not produced for him. You have also to consider complementary service and also the relationship with the customers, or, for example, the relationship with the supplier. Okay, the idea when you develop a value proposition, the idea or the challenge in some sense is to reduce unitary cost, eliminating some aspect that we have analyzed before, or reduce them. Okay, so for example, I can reduce the price or reduce, I don't know, the possibility to buy the product everywhere. So you have to eliminate or to reduce some factor, but at the same time the idea is to increase the revenues, creating or increasing other factors. So you have to balance to create a new value curve, the elimination or reduction of some factor and the creation or the increasing of other factors. Generally, firms are, how can I say, they they have the attitude to work on creation, new factors. For example, I want to transform my product in a sustainable product, okay, or to increase some factor, increase the sustainability of my product. They are less, they have a low propensity in eliminating or reducing factor. So, but anyway, if you create, if you always go on in creating, on increasing factor, the idea is to follow a strategy that we can call big and better. Okay, so more factor, bigger or better value proposition. The problem is that if you create, you only create a new factor or you increase the already existing factor, generally you have an increase in also in cost production. And if you have an increase in cost production, sometimes your offer is so expensive that no one wants to buy your product. Moreover, so to escape from this trap, you have also tried to eliminate or to reduce other factors. And many times there are factors that customers do not appreciate anymore. I mean, 10 years ago, I don't know, your product should have some factors, okay, some factors, some variables, some features, but actually after 10 years, that factor, the specific factor, is not interesting for the customer anymore. So you can try to reduce it, okay? So the idea is, for example, for reducing factor, that sometimes less is more. This is a product, very interesting product developed by Magis. Okay, it's very easy to produce it because it's only, you can have only a stamp to produce. It is the raw material is plastic, but you can use in different way. You can use as a chair for very I can say little children, for older children, okay, but if the baby is not able to sit, it can use this as I can say a toy, okay, like a little plastic horse. So less instruction, more imagination, because children want, I can say, use imagination. They want to use product leveraging their imagination. So less is more. When you have to redefine the value curve, this is interesting story, the yellowtail. Yellowtail is a wine produced in Australia that is very close to Prosecco. So Prosecco could be the same story. I mean, in the past, wine producer developed very sophisticated wines, okay, but also very expensive. So a lot of different tastes, different aspects, and blah blah blah. Yellowtail decided to produce only two typology, red wine and white wine, only one typology of red and one typology of white wine, very simple, very easy to drink and not so expensive. And they produce an unconventional wine and fun and easy to drink for everyone, okay? And it's interesting because this is the value curve of premium wine. This is, at the time of Casella wine, the value curve of low-cost wine, and you can appreciate that the curves are more or less the same. The shape of the curves are more or less similar. The only difference is that premium generally is, I can say, on the top is at a higher level on all different factors, case success factors, okay? Casella wine has been able to change the situation. So with a price that was in the middle between premium and low cost wine, they totally eliminate some factor like marketing, quality related to the age of the wine, the complexity of the taste, and introduce totally new factor, like the facility, the fact that this wine is easy to consume, it's easy to choose, and it creates, how I can say, a sense of adventure, of amusement. So Casella wine has been able to redesign totally a different value curve, creating a strategy innovation.